Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to our virtual classroom. And today is the day when we finally begin to do math. And so I know it's an exciting time for all of you. You have a visitor. So just as I promised you, and as the name of our class implies, we're going to be doing some math today. And so what I want to do today is show you how we're going to be doing assignments in our class. So the assignment is fairly simple, but more than actually doing the assignment, I'm concerned with you guys knowing how to show your work on your OneNote notebook and also how to submit your assignment for grading on Schoology. Okay, so again, we're going to do our work. View the assignment, do our work on our OneNote notebook. Remember when I told you that you'll never have to worry about keeping track of worksheets because they're all going to be in your OneNote notebook. You're not going to lose your work because it's going to be in your OneNote notebook. And from there, you'll be able to submit your answers onto Schoology. Okay, so with that in mind, let's get started. Let me share my screen. And I think we're going to be interrupted quite a bit during this broadcast. Okay, so here we are. Let's go to Schoology. So my Schoology page is already open. By now, you should be able to do this in your sleep, really. And so we're going to go to our OneNote notebook. So let's go to Office 365. And most of you guys should have already accessed your OneNote notebook at least once. And so you should either have it down here under Recents, or you can just go to OneNote and then click on your period. I'm going to go to second period because that's the period with the least number of students. And so it's going to have the least amount of clutter. Okay, now your assignment is already uploaded. You need to go to your name. So obviously that's going to be on the left-hand side of the screen. So you're going to be looking over here under the Welcome tab. Look for your name. I'm just going to click on Teacher. It's going to look a little bit different, but because I'm only going to have 3 folders, you have 4 folders, okay? And you're going to go to Classwork, okay? You're going to go to Classwork. And by clicking on Classwork, you're going to immediately see right here that it says math practice. You want to click on math practice if it's not showing up already, though for most of you, if not all of you, it's going to be showing already. So that is your first assignment. It's like a little puzzle, it's a riddle, but we're not so worried about the riddle. We're more worried with the answers to each of the problems. What problems? We're talking about these problems right here. So here's number 1, here's number 2, here's number 3, etc., all the way down to number 17. Okay, and so before we actually start doing it, you might say, Mr. Lugo, it's kind of small. If you're using OneNote in your browser, some of you guys use the app, but most of us use it right here on the internet. You can always zoom in a page in the internet by going to the very top. Just scroll all the way to the top where it says just the very top of your browser, and then go to View, and you can scroll down to where it says Zoom in or Zoom out. So Zoom in is going to make it bigger. Let's make it even bigger than that. View, zoom in, and there's shortcuts. Some of you guys might know what those shortcuts are, but that's the most basic way of zooming in. And obviously you can zoom out by going to View and clicking Zoom Out. Okay, and so there it is. It's bigger, but now you have less space to work with, don't you? You have a lot less space to work with. Of course, I can scroll up and down. I can scroll to side a little bit, but the bigger I make it, the less space I have. So how am I going to show my work? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the way that you're going to show your work is that if you look at this tab, notice that right below Math Practice, there is a subheading that says Work, in parentheses, and then says Math Practice. That is where you're going to actually show your work, and that's what I want to focus on today. Okay, so you're going to have to go back and forth a little bit, but it shouldn't be very hard. And so what you're going to do is treat this like if it was a notebook. Okay, so I'm going to go to Draw, and I'm going to put a number 1. And remember, like it says in the Welcome tab up here, you need to do your work in blue. Whenever we're doing work, as in like work on a worksheet, I want you to work with blue pen. Don't use red, please. In fact, I want you to just use blue for now. For your warm-ups and other things, I don't really care what you use as long as you don't use red, but for now, let's use the blue pen. So let's go back to the assignment. So we are here, and let's make a number 1. Oh, we want to be in blue, so let me undo that. We can just erase it. Okay, so let's get blue. I want it to be a little smaller than that. Okay, so let's do number 1. So I want you to draw in a number 1, and you're just simply going to copy the problem. So number 1 says 7,388. So just keep going back for 7,000. And if you would rather do it on a separate sheet of paper and then copy it on here, that's fine. Just so that you don't have to go back and forth as much. So 7,388. 388 plus, and we have 5,967. 5,967. 67. Now notice how I copied it exactly. The place values are already lined up. In other words, I have the ones place with the ones place, the tens with the tens, the hundreds with the hundreds, and the thousands with the thousands. And because it's addition, I'm just going to work it out. Feel free to use a different color. So 8 plus 7 is going to be, sorry, my cat is right here. So that's going to be 15. 8 plus 6 is 14, plus 1 is 15 again. 9 plus 3, that's 12, plus 1 is 13. 7 plus 5 is 12, plus 1 is 13. And so my answer is 13,000. Notice that this would be the thousands place array, so 13,355. Now, how do I know that this is correct? Well, let me go back to the problem. And remember, the answer was 13,355. If that is a correct answer, I should be able to find the answer over here somewhere. So do I see an answer? And I do. I already forgot what it was. I can't find it. Give me 1 second. Let's go back and just verify we got it right. 13,355. 13,000. Oh, there it is. 13,355. So I'm going to cross that out. And wherever I see a number 1 up here, because we did a number 1, we just did number 1, we're going to put the letter W. Okay, so I see a 1 right here, so I'm going to put a W. And do I see any other number 1s? I do not, so that's the only W that we have, and I'm going to cross it out because we're not going to use that again. Okay, so let's do another one. Math practice, let's go back and let's do number 2. So notice I'm trying to be as neat as possible, just as if it were an actual notebook. So number 2 is 947. 947. And then that's going to be minus 269. Minus, sorry, my cat had something in his mouth, in her mouth. Minus 269. 269. Okay, so now we are doing subtraction. And this is the way that it was ordered. You can double check. 947 minus 269. Yes, it is correct. And so then we're going to see if we can solve this. So 7 minus 9, I can't do that when it's in this form. So I'm going to borrow from the tens place. So that's going to become a 3. This is going to become a 17 because I borrowed 10. So then 17 minus 9, that's going to give me 8. Okay, so then 3 minus 6, I can't do that, so I'm going to borrow from the hundreds place. This is going to become an 8, and this is going to become a 13. So 13 minus 6, that's going to give me 7. And then 8 minus 2, that's going to give me 6. Okay, so I have 678. And guys, also, once you get an answer, I encourage you to circle it. Just to make it easier on me to be able to see what your answer is. These are fairly simple problems, so it's not hard to find it, but still. So now let's look for 678. So 678, it's right here, so 678, so that's going to be, for number 2, that's going to be the letter Y. So let's go back up here. Wherever we see a number 2, let's put a Y. Y. And that's about it. I don't see any other I don't see any other 2's, so I think that's the only other y that we're going to have there. Good. So pretty simple, right? Let's keep going. Let's do a multiplication problem. So number 3, we have 8,176. So number 3, 8,176, 176 times 8 times 8. Okay. And so now let's multiply this. So we're going to multiply 8 times each one of these digits. So 8 times 6, it's going to be 48, right? 8 times 7 is 56 plus 4. That's going to be 60. 8 times 1, that's 8 plus 6 is 14. And then 8 times 8 is 64 plus 1 is 65. So we have 65,408. 65,408. I might even put it right here just so I don't have to forget it. 65,408. And so let me see if I can find that. We have, and I may have messed up. I'm being really distracted right now by one of my cats, so I may have to redo that one. But no, I did not mess up because it's right here, 65,408. So that's the letter E. So for number 3, and I'm writing the letter under it just so I can keep better track of what they are. So 3 is E, and so I find 3 right here, so that's going to be the letter E. So every time I see a number 3, that's going to be a letter E. There's 1, and here's another 1. So we have 2 E's. I don't know if I see any other E's. And that's it. So you just keep going. You keep going, ladies and gentlemen. So to some of y'all's points, well, Mr. Lugo, what if I don't want to go back and forth as much? It's too much trouble. Well, what you can do, ladies and gentlemen, is that you can grab your notebook. So let me grab my notebook real quick. Give me 1 second. Remember that I said that you might need a notebook for this class, or that you'll be needing a physical notebook. So here is my physical notebook. And a composition notebook is fine. I write a lot more because I do class notes for all my classes and things like that. Okay, so let's say that you were going to do number 4. Okay, and so for number 4, we have 69 times 74. So on my notebook, I'm actually going to write, 69 times 74. And now I can go over here, and now I can just copy it from my notebook. I'm going to work it out here, though. So number 4, I give myself enough space, and I can just look here on my notebook and easily copy it down. 69 times 74. And then I can work this out. So these are 2, this is multiplication with multiple digits. So I'm going to work with the 4 first. So 4 times 9 is going to be 36. 4 times 6 is going to be 24. Plus 3 is 27. And it's been a long time since I've done multiplication, so I'm trying really hard not to get this wrong. It's been all summer. It's been a long summer, right? So 7. So we're done with this, right? We're done with this 3, and we're done with the 4. So I am going to put a 0 here because I am done with these columns, okay? So now we're going to move to the 7. 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 6 is 48, correct? Now I'm going to add them up. So 6 plus 0 is 6. 7 plus 3 is 10. That's a 0. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. And then 4 plus 1 is 5. So I got 5,106. That's my answer. I might even write it down here in my notebook so that now when I go over here, I know what to look for. I'm going to look for 5,106 for number 4. I might even write it down right here, 5,106. That's the answer that I got. And is it here? Here it is. It's F, 5,000. So for number 4, 5,000. 106, the answer is going to be F. So wherever I see a number 4 and I see one right here, I'm going to write the letter F. And there you go. So that's going to work for most of you. That's going to work for most of you. You're going to be able to do your work here. So it's going to be under math practice. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to see all of your numbers. So you're going to go number 5. You're going to do, and you're going to work it out. Number 6, and maybe some of these problems may take up more spaces. As long as it's ordered and you can use as much space as you want, as long as I can clearly see, oh yeah, and we're going to be circling our answers, as long as I can clearly see what you are doing, okay? Feel free to also highlight your answers, circle your answers, box in your answers, as long as I can see those. And that's pretty much it. So now, ladies and gentlemen, what do I do with those answers? Now that I have my answers, so you're going to finish. You're going to do all 17 questions, and now you have them here in your notebook. Now let's talk about submitting your work. Okay, so to submit your work, you're going to go back to Schoology, and you're going to go to the actual class day. So we're in Thursday. And you're going to see that there is an assignment here. It says Pizzazz A52. I might change that so that it says the exact same title as what we have over here. But yes, it's going to be right here. You're going to click. It has like a little puzzle piece. You're going to click on that assignment. You're going to see numbers. And notice how it's numbered 1 through 17. That is the same. And actually, for you guys, it's going to look a little different. You're going to see this right here. Okay? You're going to see this right here because I have a teacher review, so it's going to look slightly different. And you have a PDF version of the assignment, which you can print out if you would rather work it out first on that paper. But you already have that on your notebook. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on Start New Attempt. So you're going to click this button that says Start New Attempt. Okay, so we're going to click Start New Attempt. And then you're going to see that it's going to be numbered 1 through 17. 1 through 17. And so all you're going to do is you're going to put down the answers. So if for so here's my work for number 1, my answer was 13,355. I'm going to write out. So let me go back to here. I'm going to write 13,500. Oh, 355. 355. Okay. Notice that I didn't put the comma. Just put the number. Just put it all out. Keep it simple. Okay. So for number 2, I got 6,078. So 678. So I'm gonna put 678. Number 3, I got 65,408. So I'm gonna put 65,408. 408. Okay, and so on and so forth. So you keep going until you finish every problem. Once you finish, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important that you click Review Answers. Review answers. Okay, this is just a test, meaning it's a sample. It's not an actual problem. I'm not a student, and so that's why it's not showing any answers. But then after you review your answers, ladies and gentlemen, this is the most important part. You have to click Submit. You have to click Submit. Okay, once you click Submit, it's gonna turn in your assignment. I'll be able to see it, and it's gonna tell you which ones you got right and which ones you got wrong. The ones that are right are going to be green. The ones that are wrong are going to be red. It's going to give you, you're going to get 3 chances to do it. So the ones that you got wrong, you can go back, work on those again, and then come back. It's a little confusing at first, but it's really not that bad. So let me just start from the very beginning. As far as this presentation, let me just recap everything so that it can make a little bit more sense to you guys. So again, for our assignments, we're going to go to our OneNote notebook. So we go to OneNote. We know how to access OneNote. Under OneNote, you're going to go to your name. You're going to click on Classwork, and you're going to go to Math Practice. Here's the actual worksheet. Remember that you can zoom in and out. And then I want you to do your work under where it says, right below that, there's a subheading that says Work, Math Practice. You click on that. That's where you're going to number them 1, and then you work it out. 2, you work it out. 3, you work it out. 4, you work it out. And make sure that we are circling our answers. You can also highlight your answer if that's preferable for you, just so that you can easily find the answer whenever you're ready to submit. Once you do all 17 problems, make sure you show me your work for all 17 problems. If you don't show me your work, that will result in points being taken away. Then you are going to go back to Schoology. You're going to go back to Schoology, and you're going to go to week 1. You're going to go to the day that that assignment is for, and you're going to click on, it's going to have the same title. It's going to say math practice assignment or something like that. I'm going to change that title. So it's going to say math practice assignment. You click on that, and then you're going to look at your answers and just write out the, well, of course, yours is going to say start test or something like that, start new attempt, sorry. So you're going to start that new attempt, and then you're going to fill it all out. And once you're ready, you're going to click review answers. And then you're going to scroll back down to the bottom and then hit submit. Okay. If you get some of those wrong, you're going to get 2 more attempts. And after those 2 attempts, your highest grade is going to be your actual grade. It's going to take some getting used to, but again, right now, I just want you to focus on actually getting it done. One last thing, there's something else that I had in mind. I can't remember. So, oh yes, let's say that you get started on it. So let us suppose that you get started on your assignment. So let's go back to the beginning. And let's say that you don't finish. Okay, so you're working on it, and then maybe the bell rings and you have to go to your next class, or you're at home, you're working on it, but then you have to go to, I don't know, you have to go to the store or soccer practice if that's a thing still. And you only got to like number 4. Okay. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, you should be able to exit. And when you come back and you click on the assignment, instead of start new attempt, uh, in fact, let me go back to the beginning of the assignment. Instead of start new attempt, you're going to see something that says, you can't see it, but right next to start new attempt, you're going to see something that says resume. It's going to say resume. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have the option to resume, if you ever log on and you have the option to resume, please click resume. Okay? Don't ever click start new attempt if you have the option to resume. If you click start new attempt and you had already started another one, it's going to automatically submit the other one. The ones that you didn't do is going to count wrong, and you're going to lose that attempt. Okay, so always click resume if that's an option. Otherwise, then of course I'm going to click on start new attempt. I know this is a bit confusing, but it's going to take some practicing. In fact, most of what I showed you, except for the OneNote part, are things that we've been doing for years. It's going to be second nature pretty soon. And so I hope that it's not super confusing. I know this was a bit of a longer video, but again, this is what we're going to be going over class. Okay, so I will see you guys in class soon. And if you're seeing this after class, then it's a good review of how to show your work on OneNote and also how to submit your assignment onto Schoology. I will see you soon.